ஏய் இருடா புறா கல்றா
மாட்ரேஷன் ஹெல்ப்ஸ் எவ்ரிவன்.
ரொட்டேட் டிவைஸ்.
டேய் இப்படி தான்டா வைக்க முடியுது.
ஏய் இருடா இது ஃப்ரண்ட் கேமரா ஆன் ஆயிருமோ?
எப்படி வருதா? வருதுடா.
ஓ ஓகேல. ஏன் இவ்வளோ டல்லாக இருக்கு?
லைட்ஸ் எஃபெக்ட்ஸ் இல்லைனா நல்லா தான் இருக்கும். ஓகே ஸ்ட்ரைட்டாகவே சரி.
ஓகே கொஞ்சம் பின்னாடி வைக்கணும் போலடா. விலைக்கேற்றுறதுலாம் தெரியவே தெரியாது. நாளை வச்சிடலாமா?
சரி இங்கே இப்படி டைட் பண்ணி இங்கே வை வை நீ
திருப்பிடாத.
ஏய் அந்த ஒன் சைடு மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு பாரு. மேலே தூக்கி வை.
எப்படி வச்சுட்டா?
எப்படி வைப்பேன்? ஆமாம் இப்படியே வச்சு.
இப்படி வேணாவா?
இப்படி வச்சா தான் ரொட்டேஷன் வர மாட்டேங்குது.
வருதுடா லைவ்ல போகுதுடா. இது அப்படியே
ஓ இதுதான் ப்ரோ கரெக்டு. இப்படி ஃபுல்லாக கிடைக்குமா தெரியுமா? கிளாரிட்டி வேற கம்மியாக இருக்கு, ரெசல்யூஷன் இல்லை. ஆமாம் புரியுது.
இடையில ஓடுறது பார்க்கலாம். நீ ஒரு பக்கம் எடுக்கிறா, சென்ட்ரல் வீடியோ எடுக்கிறா, நீ ஒரு பக்கம் தினேஷ் எடுத்துகிட்டு போகிறோம். சரியா இன்னும் அதிகமாக வேண்டாம். எல்லோரும் சுற்றிட்டே இருந்தால் இங்கே க்ரௌடடாக இருக்குது. அங்கே இருக்கவங்க லைவ் ஆன் பண்ணிச்சா? யூடியூப் வாங்கிட்டீங்களா? கனெக்ஷனு லிங்க் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க நம்ம குரூப்பில்.
ஓகே சார்.
எஸ் எங்களுக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணி நான் செகண்ட் இயர் ஷேர் யூ கேன் ஷேர் டு அதர்.
ஃபோன் லைவ் போயிட்டு கேமரா ஓகே
ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
டேய் அது இப்படி தாண்டா கிடைக்கும். லைவ் இப்படி தாண்டா கிடைக்கும்.
எல்லாம் மேலே வச்சுக்கலாமாடா? ஃபோன்
சரி அப்போ மாற்றிக்கலாம் விட. டேய் இங்கே தாண்டா வைக்கணும். கார்னர் வச்சிடலாமா?
அந்த மேலே
ஆ
மேலே
இப்படி பண்ணி திருப்பி எடுப்பாங்க.
சரி ஓகே பாருங்க லைவுக்கு இப்படி வச்சிடலாமா?
லைவ்க்கா?
இல்லை அந்த பக்கம் வச்சிடலாமா? அங்கே வச்சிடலாமா? அந்த கார்னரில்
இந்த கல்லையும் வச்சுக்கோ. இங்கேயும் வச்சுக்கோ. முன்னாடி அப்போ வச்சா ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கும்போது பேசும்போது ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கலாம்.
இங்கே ஓகே
வச்சுருவோம். இங்கே வச்சு இதில் ஏறுவாங்க இறங்குவாங்க.
அப்படியே நிறுத்து
அதுக்குன்னா
போதும்டா. மூணுமே தெரியுதுடா. விளக்கு டெஸ்க்கு
சரி ஓகே எப்படி வச்சிடலாம்டா? லாக் பண்ணு.
கிளாரிட்டி மட்டும் உடையும்.
யூடியூப்பில் பொறுத்தவரை மேம் அவங்களுக்கு ஆங்கிள் ஓகே நூறுரூவா ஆங்கிள் வரும். நம்ம யூடியூப் பொறுத்தவரை இந்த ஓகே மேம்
கொஞ்ச நேரம் ஆகலாம், மேபி கொஞ்சம் கிளியர் ஆகும்.
அதுலேயே ரெசல்யூஷன் மாத்திரம் வரும். மாற்று
ஹை குவாலிட்டி
இதில் லைவ் போட்டுருக்கா?
ஓரளவுக்கு
பார்ப்போம்.
ஒன்றும் தெரியாதான் போல வந்துருக்கு.
கிளாரிட்டி தான் வரும்.
சவுண்ட் பண்ணுறது அங்கே இருந்துங்களா அங்கே போய் 2 நிமிஷம் இல்லை இன்னைக்கு மைக் சொன்னீங்க
ஒரு செகண்டுக்கு சேஞ்ச் ஆகும். யூடியூப் லைவ் ஓகேல மேம்? இல்லை கெஸ்ட் தெரியணுமா? இல்லை எது மட்டும் வச்சுக்கணும் அப்படியே
பேனல் தெரியும்
நோது
எந்த பண்ணா
ஆனால் உட்காந்து டெஸ்ட்
டேய் ஓகே பாரு.
ஃபேஸ் தெரியணும், இங்கே நிற்கிறவங்களை தெரியும்.
அதை நோக்கா இதை நோக்கி
தினேஷ் அங்கே போய் உட்காருங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சீட்டில்.
கொஞ்சம் அப்படியே
தெரியுதா பாருங்க.
ஃபஸ்ட்டு உட்காந்துருக்காங்க மாதிரி
இனிமே தான் தெரியும். ஓகே
வீடியோ தெரியுது
தெரிஞ்சு ஓகே என்ன பண்ணுது? ஓகே இல்லடா ஆங்கிள்
லைவ்ல தலைகீழா வருதா?
இல்லை இதில் கரெக்டாக தான் வருது.
டேய் நீ நார்மலாகவே இப்படி பாடுறா. ஆட்டோ லாக் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு இப்படி பாடுறா. அவ்வளோதான்டா.
இப்போ பாடுறா
நீ ஆட்டோ லாக் ஆஃப் பண்ணுறா. ஆட்டோ லாக் ஆஃப் பண்ணால் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக தான் ஆகும். ஓகே குவாலிட்டி விளக்குக்கு மட்டும் லைட் ஆன் இங்கே வச்சு ரிட்டர்ன் மட்டும். ஏன்னா பேச போகிறது இங்கே தான் நல்லா 10 நிமிஷம் முடியும்.
ஒரே நிமிஷம் சொன்னேன்.
Good morning. We request every one of you to kindly put your mobile phones in silent. Please do not leave the hall in between. Everyone are requested to leave the hall once the chief guest leaves. Thank you. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. How auspicious is this day? This is Placid Rafina and Nishantini of First MBA take the privilege in anchoring this event, and it is a pleasure to welcome you all for the HR Conclave 2023 Building Bridges, Creating Opportunities by School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology. Today is the day we begin to learn, to look through the eyes of others, to find out and experience what world is like for them.
It is a mark of our undying tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. பொழுதாய் வாழ்த்து. Thank you. A ray of light, it's a ray of hope. Let's all leave the darkness and step towards the bright path. Now, I call upon the dignitaries on the dais to kindle the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you, dignitaries. Human resource field, which requires updating and imbibing of the latest trends of the industry in the global corporate scenario. Today's HR trends have taken a new transformation in all aspects of HR framework in process that enlighten towards overall HR culture. People analytics is becoming a high priority for all organizations. Now, analytics and AI touches every aspect of HR, from recruiting to performance management, and the main focus is on predictive models. The organizations have focused on competency enhancement and fostered employee-centric. Redesign the systems, tools, and process in place, enhance the productivity, performance, commitment, and build value relationships in organizations. Taking the same into consideration, we, the School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, Coimbatore, are organizing HR Conclave 2023. HR Conclave focus on the paradigm shift and recent happenings in the HR field, where the industry and academia together brainstorm and revamp, rethink
replenish and rejuvenate ideas about people and process in the organizations. The conclave will sure enlighten the budding HR professionals, tune their creative thoughts and prepare them to place in a suitable corporate point in offering viable solutions.
Small cheer and a great welcome make a merry feast. I take the immense pleasure to invite Dr. M. Punita, Faculty of School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, to accord with the welcome address.
A very pleasant and a very good morning to everyone present here. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all for the HR Conclave 2023, Rethink, Revamp, Regenerate and Replenish. Human resources of varied skills are always necessary for any type of industry and hence they play a vital role in successful functioning of the organization. Today's HR environment requires, apart from other skills, working knowledge about analytics, artificial intelligence, metaverse, etc. In this context, the conclave is organized to provide a lot of inputs to students by a team of HR experts so that they are enriched with contemporary knowledge and practices. On behalf of School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, I am delighted to welcome our chief guests, Mr. Vanda Joki, Vice President Operations, CAEL HR Services, and Ms. Srija Vidyasagar, Senior Manager, Campus Recruitment Cognizant. I warmly welcome Dr. R. Jagjeevan, Principal, Sri Krishna Arts and Science College, and extending hearty welcome to our Head of the Department, Dr. N. Nirmala Devi. I thank and welcome the HODs of various departments of SKCT and for gracing the occasion here. I wholeheartedly welcome the student participants who are highly energetic and prepared for the event. I am also happy to welcome my fellow colleagues who have put in their joint efforts for organizing the conclave. I wish all of you to have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request our principal, Dr. R. Jagajeevan, Sri Krishna College of Arts and Science, to honor our chief guest, Mr. Vanda Joki, Vice President, Operation CIER HR Services, Coimbatore, with a memento. Thank you, sir. Now, I request our Head of the Department, Dr. N. Nirmala Devi, Sri Krishna College of Technology, to honor our special guest, Ms. Srija Vidyasagar, Campus Recruiting Senior Manager, Cognizant, with a memento. Thank you, ma'am.
One seed can start a forest. One word can frame a goal. One candle can wipe out darkness. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone. He is the man with great innovation who gives us his confidence, endless care, guidance and support. With a thankful heart, I invite Dr. R. Jagajeevan, Principal, Sri Krishna Arts and Science College, to deliver the presidential address.
A very happy morning to one and all present here. And it's really a day where I should say like it's an immense pleasure for me to be standing in front of the HR faculty. As a HR faculty for the past 22 years, it has always been a privilege standing and delivering lectures or learning something from the HR faculty. And today is also a day for me to cherish, which is a part of my experiential learning is concerned. If I was just thinking, saying like, as a HR conclave, what should I be speaking for? Then what exactly was happening in the last 2 years? What is that the HR has been going through? So I just collected some points, not based on something that has been published in the internet, but something that I have collected from my friends in the HR faculty who has been with the industry for a very long time. Okay, let me start with a very simple question, saying like, okay, you might be interested in getting a job in a particular company. So can I have few of the volunteers from the audience saying like, oh, which is the company that you would prefer to get a job? Which company is the most preferred company for you to get a job? Quickly. Zoho, okay. Google, Deloitte, Tata's, Infosys, okay. Now can I quickly ask the question? Okay, why this company? Why this company? Why Zoho? Why Deloitte? Why Tata's? Sorry? Work culture, okay. What is the other reason? Sorry? Salary. Exposure. Policies. What policies? HR policies. Okay, now look at this. Okay, so what's the first thing that you said? It is the work culture. The second one? Salary. The third one? Exposure. The fourth one? HR policy. Look at who is the department which is handling all these things. Okay, now this is why we say HR is important. The reason being, it is the HR which is going to brand an organization. It is the HR which is going to brand an institution. At the same time, the HR can also debrand an organization or an institution. That is the sensitivity of HR in the modern world. So right from the choice of a workplace, right from what is happening in a workplace, it is all decided and designed by the HR. So this is something that we need to be remembering. Now before I give few other points, I would like to remember the person who actually transformed the personnel management to HR. Okay, see, today we are speaking about human resources management. Earlier we all know like it was called as personnel management. The personnel management was something like you do only what has been said in legal aspects. Probably something which has to do with the compliances. Now, one person with this innovative thought, which is innovative strategy, as of HR is concerned, brought a new dimension into the business, and the person called as Dave Ulrich. The person who actually gave the name to this world called as human resources management. And I'm sure like it is our responsibility on the day of an HR conclave to remember this gentleman, and of course we will be very happy to appreciate this person, and I request you to please applaud for this name, Dave Ulrich, because he is the person because of whom the HR got established. Now quickly getting into my topic. I will take next 7 to 8 minutes to complete whatever I want to deliver. But before I start, I would again quote on a few aspects of HR. See, this is not something, when we speak about HR, we speak about you and me. We don't speak about, when you speak about finance, you speak about what? You speak about what? With all due respect to finance faculty and marketing faculty. Okay, so I'm not degrading anyone here. I'm only trying to supplement what HR is all about. Okay, so when you speak about finance, you speak about what? You speak about money. When you speak about marketing, you speak about product. When you speak about operations, you speak about processes. When you speak about HR, you speak about what? You speak about you and me. Okay, we speak about us when we speak about HR, human resources. See, that is why HR is important. We are not speaking about some other aspects. We are speaking about you and me when we speak about HR. That is the uniqueness of HR. And the second one is about, this is slightly theoretical, but I'm sure like now all of us will agree, and we have applied this in our day-to-day affairs. When we speak about the 5 resources, what we call it as the 5 M's in the management terminology is called as resources. What are the 5 M's, by the way? Men, money, machine, material, and methods. The only resource which gets appreciated day by day is human resource. All other resources actually get depreciated. This is the only resource which gets appreciated day by day. That's the second one I want to reiterate. And the third one is, an institution or an organization does not grow because it has a legacy, or it is about 100 years old, or it is about 200 years old. It is because of the people in it who have carried this legacy forward. So if you want to look at why an organization is established, why an organization is growing, why a particular organization is having a legacy, it is because of the people who are working in that. So it is the people who actually take the organization to the next level. Customer satisfaction, whatever, for an organization or for an institution is definitely based on an HR. So I think I've supplemented why HR is important in all my aspects. Now, I have maybe about 11 points, but I would not speak about all the 11 points. I'll leave it to the experts to speak on that because they are from the industry. But I'd like to list down and say a few things about what is happening in the industry which my friends have shared with me. Now, last 2 years has been really challenging for the HR people. Now, why is it challenging? We all know. The COVID phenomenon. Everything was new for an HR person during COVID. Okay, because even a finance person was working on the same software when he or she has to work from home. A marketing guy was using an online platform, but what he or she was speaking was the same content. But when you look at the HR, what is that they were doing was completely different. I have to manage my team without even meeting them face to face. That is the first challenge that we have. We have people who are working for our organization or our institution without even knowing their faces. Okay? Now, all these challenges, of course, you have to conduct an appraisal. You have to have virtual meetings, which was a big challenge for you. And you have to go for a strategic plan. The worst thing that has happened for an HR was to have a strategic plan online, in fact. Okay, all these things was really challenging for the HR faculty. Now, looking from this perspective, there are few HR trends that has happened. Now, let me list few of them. The first one, of course, is the hybrid work. Now, which has become a norm of the day. Today, you and me, in fact, we in our institutions are speaking about hybrid classes today. Okay, there's nothing is going to be only online or only offline. Today we are speaking about hybrid classes. So hybrid workplace has become a norm of the day. So it is going to be both remote and on-premises working. We have to coordinate with that. This is a huge challenge for the HR people to be having a hybrid workplace, which was again completely new. The second one is a big challenge where it is also influencing HR people to have a change in the policies. The inclusion and equity at the workplace. Very challenging because whatever HR does is not enough for inclusion. It's very challenging. Because see, I might have done, you might have recognized me in 10 occasions, you might have not recognized me in one occasion, that one occasion becomes a non-inclusion for me. So it is not about the inclusion that we are speaking about the non-inclusions. So it is very challenging for an HR to understand and apply the inclusions and equity. This is the second trending things which is happening in the organization, but HR is becoming very sensitive to apply all these things and make sure like the human resources are satisfied because of their approach. The third one is employee engagement. Gone are days where employee engagement can be a formality. It is not about sending them for a movie. It is not about sending them for a picnic. It is not about having a gala time or a weekend party. No, these things are no more engagements. Okay, the employees are also becoming smart. Today, the engagement definition is completely new. What do we do in engagement? Today, the employee engagement is speaking about, do you care for me? Okay, particularly this generation, the Generation Z and millennials. Okay, the question comes is like, do you care for me? If you don't care for me, I will not do work for you. It's as simple as that. Okay, 2 months, 3 months after joining a company, people want to leave. And they say, 2-3 months, why are you leaving? They say like, no, this is not a good company for me. 2-3 months, they are able to quickly come to a conclusion. It's too early for people to come to conclusions. Now that is the care that an employee is looking for. The care, connect, coaching in the organization, how much they are contributing towards the organization, how much they are being appreciated and recognized. All these things have been taken into consideration when it comes to employee engagement. And human-centered technology. No more technology is becoming a norm of the day. Are you having a technology which is human-oriented? Is this technology which is going to help the human perform better, or is this technology making the life of the human tough? Now this is a big question that is coming into picture. Now HR is in the platform. I think a few minutes back when we were just speaking, we were just speaking about the same point, saying like, no, is it like, are we bringing all the technologies? Yes, technology is coming, but what is more important for an HR person is to understand whether this technology is required for me or not. Now that is the big challenge that the HR has. So it is not about bringing technology, whether it is required or not required is a big point that we are speaking about. And I have so many other points, but I would just list it down and I would like to stress on 2 points. The next one is the compensation innovation. Okay, how innovative are we giving compensation? I think I shared 1 or 2 examples in my class also. Now, is that, okay, compensation is not only about the money part, it is also about the financial and non-financial aspects that you are getting from an organization. Are we getting enough of a right combination of financial and non-financial things is what we call it as compensation. Money, yes. Non-financial, what are the things we are getting? I don't want to name a company. I'm sure like the experts sitting here might be able to know this company. There is a company where already like 42% of their employees are women, and particularly in their finance department, where they have about 60 to 65% of women. I would say roughly 60 to 62% are women in that particular company. February and March, particularly March and April till 15th of April, they have to work extended hours because you need to close the accounts, you need to start new accounts and all these things. Now, tell me, I'm seeing like so many women are sitting here, the future women managers as well as my own colleague. Tell me the most toughest job after reaching home from your routine, from your job. What is the most toughest job you have? Sorry? Particularly what, ma'am? Exactly. Exactly. Now, this company has gone for a tie-up with a hotel, one of the very big 5-star hotel in our Avinasi Road. They have gone for a tie-up with this hotel, and what they do is that they pack food for the women employees when they are leaving home, working extended hours. Okay. Now look at this is not great. But what is more interesting here is look at the detailing that they do. The detailing is like if you have kids. If there are 1 kid, they pack 1 ice cream. If you have 2 kids, they pack 2 ice creams. If you have elderly people, they give you steam cooked foods. Look at the detailing they have got. Now this is what you call it as compensation innovation. So what we are giving is not important. What we are giving according to the requirements of the people, that is what is making more important. And of course, we can speak about Google. Your California campuses has at least about 40 restaurants if I am right, at least about 40. Where you can just show your ID card, you can go into any restaurant, you can have whatever you wanted, food is completely free. You have Indian, you have South Indian, you have Mexican, you have Italian, you have Chinese, or whatever you want to have. Everything is free for you. Whichever restaurant you want, you can just enter there and you can eat. Now, compensation innovation is becoming a huge challenge for the HR. What is the new thing that we can give? 10 years back, I would rather say 14 years back, not 10 years, 14 years back, 2008, 2009. One of the company, I don't want to again name the company, I would like to you people can Google it and find it out. One of the company had a very innovative thing, saying like, they wanted to find what is the different thing that I can give for my employees. So they were able to find like 43% of their employees were having pet. Okay, this happened in a Western country. So 43% of their employees were having pets. So for that year, the company actually paid the pet insurance premium. The pet insurance premium was paid by the company. So it is like you have the pet, you will not be paying the insurance premium, but pet insurance premium is being paid by the company. Now, I can just list so many things like this, but what is more interesting here is to understand like how much of innovation that we can bring into compensation system. Of course, people analytics, I'm sure the experts are going to speak about that. Reskilling and upskilling is the norm of the day. New recruitment approaches. One of my friends gave a very interesting example for me. He's with about 15 years plus experience in recruitment. He says like, again, I don't know the company, he says like, no, this company has this approach. They have fantastically designed a vehicle, what we call it as a Basha vehicle, that we call it as a depot traveler. Okay, he says like, no, there is a fantastic vehicle which is being designed and the vehicle has an office setup in there. So it is not like, no, you're going to call your people to come to your campuses for recruitment. What they do is that they take the vehicle, they go to the place where the person is working. They just give a call saying like, no, we are here in this vehicle, the person comes outside. Of course, if you want to ask me whether it is ethical or not, I don't have an answer. The HR people reach there, they call this person, he comes for a break for about half an hour, finishes the interview, takes his offer letter and gets in the company. Okay, now the vehicle has a complete office setup. You just go there, get into the vehicle, complete your formalities. Now, this is something that we are speaking about, new recruitment approaches that we are having. Of course, our online, offline, the modes, internal, external, all these things exist. But what is more important is how much of new innovation things that we are bringing in. Then, of course, artificial intelligence, machine learning, huge contribution towards the HR. And CSR activity, which is again becoming a responsibility of the HR department. And And the last point that I would like to, I've just listed, I've not explained everything, I've just listed, but last point that I would like to stress and conclude is, the big challenge today for an HR is about HR people are involved in training other people. But the real challenge is about understanding what is the training that is required for the HR person. Okay, this is something what happens is like, you know, when we have been asked to count how many people are there, we will count everyone and we will miss ourselves. We will not be a part of that count. Now that is what is happening with many of the HR. Now as a HR, I am involved in training everybody in my organization, but I am not able to assess what is the training that is required for me is a big question mark. So today's new trend is about the HR people first understanding. As Ms. Shrija was speaking about, it is the HR who needs to understand the technology before even if it is getting into the organization. So the HR has to understand not only the technology, also the technical part of it. So the HR should be more focused on training themselves before training the other peoples. And my list can go on, but these are something very, very trending things that is happening in the industry. So all these inputs were given by my friends, and they also shared about few challenges which I have submitted in front of you. And as the day progresses, I'm sure like with all these experts available, we are going to have a lot of insights into the HR, and I'm sure that this is going to be a lot of learning for us, and I will also make sure whenever possible I'm going to be available here. But I want every one of you to make sure that you ask a lot of questions with these experts, because they would love to answer the questions. Please ask as many questions as possible, because that is what is going to help us learn a lot. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm really feeling rejuvenated and in fact cherishing my moment as a HR faculty, which is very rare. Like nowadays I actually go to the classes, but today has been a very good class for me. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for emphasizing the importance of human resources and the role to be played by future HR managers for the success of an organization. Thank you.
To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. It's my pride to take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Wonder Joki, Vice President, Operation CIEL HR Services. Mr. Wonder Joki is a professional with 25 plus years of overall experience in business development, channel management, end-to-end recruitment management, multiple profit center management, training execution, and delivery with exposure to corporates and education institutions. Sir worked with one of the largest global HR services provider, Randstad India Limited. He also worked as business head at ADOS, a behavioral training organization. Sir is currently associated as Vice President, heading operations CIE HR Services, Coimbatore. With this brief introduction, I welcome Mr. Wonder Joki, Vice President, Operations CIEL HR Services, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Lack of response there. The speaker needs some motivation. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. When dignitaries on the dais, I think Dr. Jagdishan took off half of what I wanted to speak about today. Okay, I came planning that everybody is going to talk on the latest things, so let me talk about the basics. And half of what I wanted to talk, he has covered. So let me try and finish what I can without stepping on his toes like he stepped on mine. Right. No, absolutely no. So let me ask you a question. What makes an organization? Money, people. Your people. Is it an organization? System. Planning. Organizational spirit. So, no. Actually, there are only two things that make an organization. Can you think for a minute? That's a vision, mission statement. Goal is a vision. So basically, an organization consists of people, which is right, and processes. There are only two things. And if they are combined together, they make an organization. Right? So let's look at today the buzzword in the industry is something called unicorn. Have you all heard of the word unicorn?
Yes? So what's a unicorn? Somebody who doesn't know. So there's a concept which comes up, okay? And then somebody builds an organization around it. So the guy who comes up with a concept tries to sell the concept, and then he starts an organization. So let's look at what is called the 10 pillars of talent management. All right? So the first thing is an organizational structure. Now, when a person starts an organization, then he has to, okay, he builds and he imagines himself, okay, start small, 2, 4, 5 of them together, like we are sitting over here, 4 or 5 of us together, come out with an idea, we start working. Then if you have to grow, you need to have people, etc. So you make an organizational structure. So who makes the organizational structure? Right? So along the way, when you gain experience, when you work for some time, then you start designing, you look at the different organizations that you work with, you read about the different best practices of certain organizations which have done very well, and based on your experience, you come out with an organizational structure, which is very important. The second thing is manpower planning. Right? Now you have Srija here, who comes every year, there is a HR team which decides this is the manpower required, and then she hands the campus requirement. Now in manpower planning, we need to understand how are we going to utilize our manpower properly. Okay. So manpower utilization again is a very important factor. You have one of your speakers this afternoon who's called a HR business head, right? Now, this concept of business, HR business partner was not there about 4 or 5 years back. But today what has happened, like what Sir said, unless you have somebody understanding the business, a HR person understanding the business, you may not be able to speak the same language as the person who's running the rest of the business. All right? So the concept of business partner, HR business partner came into place. I want to give you a small example over here. We worked with one of India's or South India's largest two-wheeler manufacturer, who's also India's largest auto component manufacturing unit. They have one of the units in Hosur. So they told us to do an audit of their manpower utilization. When we finished, we gave them some suggestions. And when we finished, they decided that what we said made sense. And they decided to implement it. We got a letter of appreciation for them that after we completed it, within a period of 9 months, their savings on revenue savings because of manpower utilization and the recommendation that we made was about 2 crores a year. Now, who does this? HR, right? So your manpower planning again is in your hand. Once you finish the manpower planning, now you need to know what you have to do. So you need to make a job description, right? So you decide what he has to work. You have something called KRAs. You know what's a KRA? Key result areas. So what is the roles and responsibilities? And then you have something called a KPI, key performance index. How do you judge a person has done well or not? Okay. So this part again is done by who? You. Right? So once you do this, then people like Srija, etc. come for what you call talent acquisition. So we were having a discussion in the morning that when they come, they have a certain expectation in their mind of what sort of people they want to hire, right? And they come and they meet all of you. And if you look at it, today you have over 100 odd people sitting over here, or a little more than that. And if I take only 5 or 6, the rest of you are disappointed, right? Yes? Now why are you not selected? Because you have not lived up to the expectation of what? Srija or our organization. So you as students have to take the effort to find out what is going on in the industry and what do we expect from you. Now that part of it, if you understand it well, then the number of hires which happens from any campus recruitment will go through the roof. Right? Okay, now this is over. Next comes what? Once they finish the hiring, you have something called an induction. I have been in this organization for 17 years. All right? Today you don't have people who stay in organizations for very long. Morning Sir was also saying that he was with PhD for 17 years. The reason why I was here, and I think one of the fundamental reasons why I was here, I'm still with this organization, is because of your induction program. When I went for the induction program, it was a 4-day induction program, designed so well by the HR team, that is still fresh in my mind, and I feel loyal to the organization because they made me feel good. They made me feel like a family, right? Yes, along the way you grow, you need the recognition when you do it the right things at the right time. That's a different case altogether. but that ownership, the feeling of a family was brought in at the time of the induction. Now, who does the design of the induction? It's you people again, right? Once you finish it. So I spoke about compensation. Now, compensation and compliance. Innovative ideas today, so I'm not going to go into that. Who does that again? It comes to you. Next, what happens? You have hired the people. Now they are supposed to be working for different departments, right? Now there's a certain expectation from the department. Now, if a particular person is not able to live up to the expectations, who does the department head fire? He catches you and says, what sort of a guy you hired for us, right? If you are proactive, then what would you do after the induction and this guy starts working? You will keep an eye on him to find out whether he's living up to the expectations of his bosses. If not, what comes into play? L&D comes into play, learning and development, right? So you will, if somebody has been hired and he's not doing well, you will try and train him or find out why is he not doing well and take an effort to train him so that you can retain him. You just can't hire and fire people. Because if you hire and fire people, then there are so many, what do you say, sites where you find out about organization before you go for an interview. How do you check about an organization? Can somebody tell me one of the favorite sites that you go to check about an organization before you go in for an interview? Fantastic. Okay, I think you need to give a round of applause for that, right? So what happens is, if I don't do my job well, and if I don't help that person come up, right, then if he leaves, he's going to put a negative comment about it. And if these negative comments become a little high, then what happens? Nobody wants to work with that organization. We have clients who come to us and say they want us hired. My staff would go through Glassdoor and say, okay, we don't want to work with these people because they have such a reputation. Okay, so bad news travels fast. Now, whose job is it to create good news? So, you do your performance appraisal. Now, while you are doing that, when you join today as an executive, do you want to die as an executive? No, you want to grow. There's something called succession planning, right? So, when I do my interviews, we think, okay, this guy is suitable to reach this stage. But when he is suitable to reach this stage, does he have the qualities to reach that stage is another thing. You take the field of cricket today, you have a lot of fantastic players, but does everybody become a good captain? But how do they choose the captain? Based on performance, right? A guy plays well, you need to give him a chance, so you make him the captain. But if he is not trained on leadership qualities and how to lead a team, can he become a captain? There are a lot of cases, whether it's Sachin Tendulkar, Ian Botham, etc., phenomenal players, but they're not great captains. Today, if you look at Dhoni, he is a case study in most of the business schools all over the world, right? Not all leaders are born. They've taken the effort to learn to become good leaders. Now, training them becomes whose job again? HR. There was a survey done about a year back where they said that 70 to 75% of the people who resign because their bosses are not good. The salary and others come second because their bosses were not good. Now, this guy has been in the organization for so long and some people are resigning like this. Don't you think it's the responsibility of the HR to have trained him to be a good boss? So again, the L&D becomes involved. So in succession planning, you need to find out what sort of qualities are being used by people, right? And find out if this person has those things and does. Since I was talking to Srija in the morning, I suddenly remembered I did a first-time leader. I don't know if they still have that program. Something called first-time leaders for anybody who's chosen as a team leader. So we do a feedback to the people with whom this boy worked before he became a team leader. And the thing is, sir, there is an antagonism. He is supposed to anticipate that. Now, will he know that? He won't know that. Whose job is it to get him prepared for it? HR. How the maturity to handle it. So, what you're calling emotional intelligence, okay, to develop it in that person was whose job? It becomes the HR person's job, right? So, then you have a proper succession plan. Now, what is the definite thing that is in life once you're born? Exactly. So what is the definite thing which happens when you work in an organization, the life cycle of an employee? You join, and then you either resign, you retire, or you're laid off. Right? Now, even in that, to make it a pleasant way of doing it. Now, for example, there were recent times there were a lot of layoffs. I work with a couple of companies where they take the layoff so seriously that they have hired us, where we do counseling for every person who's been chosen to be laid off. Explain to him as to why he is being laid off. Make them understand the reason why there is no other goal, that the company still worries about him, and that we have been hired to find him a better job. That is not a concern they show. Why? Because as HR people, you are the people who make an organization stick together. It's people and processes. But the people to be happy is in the land of the HR. Right? So this is the whole circle of HR services. And if you look at it, in every single point of time, for every single department which is there, if not for HR, there is no organization. You need to be proud of yourselves that you have taken HR, the integral part of how important you are to make an organization grow. And it is depending on you that the reputation or the happiness index of employees is taken into consideration. So as you pass out this year or the year to come, I want you to, I remember the words of my chairman. He said, what I learned outside the classes was much more than what I learned inside the classes. So try and take the effort to attend programs like this, take part in a lot of conferences, conclaves, whatever it is. Try and read the maximum, do a lot of work on case studies, etc. Find out the best practices so that you become an innovative, empathetic, and a good HR person. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing interesting thoughts on the HR practices like manpower planning, talent acquisition, compensation benefits, handling conflicts, training and development, etc. Really, we are enlightened. Thank you, sir.
A true artist is not who is inspired, but one who inspires others. I am honored to welcome our special guest, Ms. Srija Vidyasagar, Campus Senior Manager, Cognizant. Ms. Srija Vidyasagar is a Senior Manager for Campus Recruitment Program and Management of Campus University Placement Office to ensure stakeholders' satisfaction and communication. She designed and executed customized skilling program for fresh minds. She received License Developer certification from Udemy and developed complete data insights application using License. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Ms. Srija Vidyasagar, Campus Recruiting Senior Manager, Cognizant, to deliver the keynote address.
Very good morning to all the delegates on and off the dais. So, how are you feeling today after hearing all the, presidential address, sir speaking? So, what is the takeaway from whatever you have heard till now? Nothing? Importance of HR. Okay, what else? I think Jockey sir covered a lot of points. Principal sir as well covered, pretty much very critical points. In fact, as Jockey sir said, both of them have covered almost all what I had prepared. So it's going to be an impromptu speech that I'll be doing now. Okay. So before that, let me understand what is that you have understood from the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so that I can proceed. Okay. Louder, please. Okay, trends. Challenges, great. So you have understood the challenges that the current HR professional or the particular department is facing. Do you have an idea of that? Yes. Okay, I think we spoke a lot about Gen Zs and millennials, right? Who are Gen Zs, Gen Z, okay, and who are millennials? Like generally when we converse, we say, right, we have a lot of millennial population, we have a lot of Gen Zs, right? Who are they? People born up to 95? Okay, millennials? Yeah. So, actually as a HR professional, right, so I come from Cognizant. I think I would have met most of you during your induction except for students who are, of Sri Krishna campus. Okay. So, when it's about the HR, right, we have to handle all kinds of people, right. You will have millennial population as well as you will have Gen Z. Can we handle all of them in the same way? Why not? They are all employees, right? Do we handle everyone in the same way? Mindset is different. So who will take care of all this, volatilities in the behavior, attitude, people handling? Whose responsibility is it? HR? So are you being taught all that as a part of curriculum? I think as a HR, right, there are so many qualities that you have to build in yourself, right? How do you build such talents? Will everything be taught over books and by your professors? Yes? Will your professor tell you that, okay, if this person is of this age, this is how you have to talk to him. If the person is in the early 20s or early 30s, this is how you have to handle. Is everything taught in a human resource management session?
Subjective.
Yeah, subjective. So, you will have to handle a lot of people. Okay, there is a lot of talk about, AI replacing HR jobs. Did you read about that? Does it sound positive or negative? Why do you say it's positive? Okay, is it taking away our jobs? Yes? No? Yes. Okay, when you say no, why do we say then what is the purpose of AI if it is not going to take away our jobs?
That's a tool, not the...
Precisely, yeah. So basically AI is not going to take away the jobs, okay? It is going to take away the redundant activities that we are doing, okay? It is something that we train. There is so much of supervised, unsupervised learning, all that comes into that AI and machine learning, right? It makes our life easy. Okay, I think there is so much of discussions among whether AI will take the HR jobs. Is it safe to have, to be a HR? All the discussions are going on. But, from Cognizant, I would say that, we have around 3,60,000 workforce. Okay, and how many HRs do you think we will have for a set of people? Do you know the ratio of HR? Generally, not in Cognizant. Generally, for 100 people, how many HRs would any company have? One, right? Okay. So is a HR expected to have technical capability or is it only people management skills? Both? Okay. See, actually in a project, when you go to a business environment, right, the technical person will just have to understand their technical skills, right? Like what Principal Sir said, it's not just one technical skill that as a HR we need to know. We need to know all the skills across the organization so that we can handle any questions that people come up with, right? Okay, so setting this context, I just have a brief, 5-minute talk which I'll just tell you. Okay, please stop me if you have any questions, okay? Or I'll open the floor at the end for the questions so that you can ask them, right? So basically, HR is a very, in the current phase where business is rapidly changing, it is very important that as HR professionals, we should also keep ourselves updated. We have to adapt ourselves to the technical, trends that are changing. Only then we will be relevant and we will be able to service the people whom we are actually, under us, right? We manage a lot of people, correct? So that is one thing. Though AI, machine learning, all of it is coming, it is very critical that all these technologies cannot take the human part of the role that we do, okay? That is something that we have to build in ourselves. And even when you are being selected for a job or for whatever matter, right? See, when you present yourself, how appealing you are, not only in your looks, the way you talk, you have to talk to the point. All that matters when you have to get a job, correct? Isn't that important? Yes? No? Yeah. Okay, so basically AI, what it does is, I think you will have a lot of session, post this wherein you will cover about how AI helps, to make your work easier. How does it, give a predictive analysis, okay? How you can outsource your, recurring tasks, all that to the AI part, right? But from a HR's perspective, what are the different roles you play is very critical. From the time an employee joins a company, what are the different roles a HR has from onboarding, right? You will have to onboard, correct? After that, they have to be skilled. Can you take a person from a campus and just like that deploy them into the projects? No. Skilling is very important. So learning and development plays a role there, right? Third thing is after learning and deployment, you will have to ensure that employees kept engaged. How is the employee experience? Will anybody continue if the experience in the company is bad, even if they are being paid 80 lakhs per annum? Will they continue? No. There is something much more than the monetary benefits that will keep them. Like as sir rightly said, right? People don't move out of companies, they move out of managers. Okay. So is a manager equipped to handle their people? That is also a HR's responsibility. Even as a junior person in a HR or senior, right, we have a huge responsibility to ensure that the entire organization is kept well knit, right? And all the processes are followed and everything is aligned. We cannot teach everything, correct? Right? Okay, that's about the learning and development. Then you're going into a business. Okay, then there is something called as a performance appraisal, right? What is performance appraisal? Yeah, you will evaluate. Do you think every employee will be happy about whatever is appraised? If I give one person, a very good rating, okay, assume that 5 is the best rating, and the other person second, do you think they'll be quiet? What happens? The employee will be unhappy. What will be the next step? Assume that you are given a bad rating. What will you do? Okay, performance will be affected. Okay, what else will you do? Will you go fight with the manager? Will you raise a grievance? Will you plan to quit the company? Right? See, attrition is one of the biggest problems that any company, be it small scale or large scale, that's a company is facing, right? It is very difficult to get skilled people, correct? So we have to ensure that the employees are happy. Doesn't mean that we can give the best of the package increments every month. Not like that. That engagement and experience and explaining the people what is that they are supposed to do and why they are not getting what they are supposed to get is something that a HR has to play, right? And even if they plan to quit, right, we need to understand why they are quitting, right? What we have to ensure that a corrective measure can be taken so that others retain, right? All these responsibilities, whatever is the HR responsibility doesn't come, like with a list of 50 action items or 100 action items. It is evolving and it changes depending upon the people we, talk to and handle, correct? So that way, the role as an HR is very important, both in the human aspect where you handle people. Second thing, you will have to be technically very well versed, okay? So every one of you, I don't know how many of you all read technical papers, right? We assume that we are all human resource people, so we don't have to go into the technical aspect. We should know the technologies even before it comes to the company, right? Only then we can be prepared of, how we can make the right set of people available for our company and business so that we can meet the client requirements, right? And most of our learning, if you see, I have been in learning and development for around 5-6 years, where we see that through L&D, whatever we deliver is only 15% of the total learning what an employee gets, right? Even in colleges, what you learn will be only 15% of the total learning that you will get as soon as you start working, right? The rest of the 15% comes from networking. What is networking? Connections. You have to talk to people, right? You have to participate in such events, talk to people. There is a lot of learning that you get through these sources, right? So it's very critical that you take part in networking. Third thing, around 33% of whatever you learn comes on the job. So while you work, there's a lot of learning. Though we teach you all this, whatever I have told you, you would have read in books, or maybe in your next year you will read all these in books. But only once you start doing a hands-on on these skills, you will actually understand what is that you learn, okay? I would recommend that keep your MBA book safe, and after you play as a role as an HR for 2 years, please go through that book. You will find it much more informative than what you find it today, okay? The last way is by discovery, okay? Discovery is nothing but it is not taught to you, but as you work, you will find certain ways, right? Be it in automation or, making things easier, making process better, right? How you can keep employees engaged. All that you will learn through discovery. So these are the 4 ways in which you will have a good learning experience and you can deliver it that to your organization and employees, right? By no way AI is not going to take any HR jobs, it's just going to make our jobs easier, okay? All that as a HR we have to be very keen on is how to handle people, okay? We have to ensure that ample feedback is made available. We won't be directly going and giving the feedback. We should ensure that they get the right set of feedback from their supervisors or whomever, their peers, their reports. You know, there should be a 360-degree feedback. Have you heard about the concept of 360-degree feedback? Yeah, so that has to be implemented. And if you see the today's generation, right, they cannot learn for, they cannot sit for 45 minutes, 1 hour classes. I think even you, right? Do you think you can hear a session or a lecture for 45 minutes, 1 hour? I think the attention span is very less, right? So that way, even the learnings that you are going to deliver for your employees should be nano learnings, which should be, less than a minute or 2 minutes, right? We'll have to curate the content and give it in a crisp way so that, it reaches the people, the end users, and has the same effectiveness. So all these, right, we'll have to keep in mind when we play a role as a HR, okay? So for that, what are the different things that will be required, how you have to keep yourself updated is what you will be seeing in the upcoming sessions where you have the other leaders talk to you, okay? So with this note, I wish you all great success in both learning and your role later on in with your career growth and professional growth. So at any point, if you have any questions, right, you can post the questions now if you have, or I'm always available. I think you know the connects through which you can reach us. We are available for you. So wish you all the goodness. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Yes. Correct. See, it will change the way we work, okay? For example, as a HR role, right? Earlier days, if you see what is the role of HR, keeping track of how many employees are there, okay? What is their pay scale, okay? Is their salary getting paid? What is the inflow of money? What is the outflow of money with the company? That's all. But do you think you will be happy with such a HR today? No. Same way, we will do a lot of data processing using Excels and spreadsheets, right? And if you ask the reason why people are leaving the company, assume that I have 1,000 people who have quit my organization this year. If I have to, tell why, right, I'll have to, see a lot of repository of data and find. With AI, all such tasks become easy. It will draw inferences, insights and give me so that I can act on something that will actually create an impact, okay? That way the kind of work we do will change, but it doesn't take our job. It will take our job provided we are not updating ourselves and being relevant to the technological advancements.
Now my question regarding this is how we are going to retrain them, all the obsolete human resources?
See, there is nothing like somebody will come and tell you how to that you have to retrain. See, in my job currently, nobody comes and tells me, Shrija, if you think that you have to sustain your job in Cognizant, you go and do this certification, you do that. No. You have to find what is the industry trend. You will have to see what is the way. You will have support to guide, but nobody will come like in schools and colleges. Nobody will spoon feed and tell you that please go do the certification. Only then you will have your job after 6 months. Nobody will say. You will have to take the interest. That's why I'm telling a lot of reading is important, right? The more you read, you will understand where the industry is heading to. You will have to upskill yourself, okay? For which you can take support of the other people, the leaders in your organization, upskill and prove that you have the skill. Obviously, opportunities will come your way. But if you say, no, I will not learn, I will keep doing what I am doing, then 100% sure you will lose your job. That's why people say that HR jobs will get lost because of AI. It doesn't happen if you become relevant.
My second question regarding that appraisal thing. As you said, many employees won't be satisfied with the appraisal. No? Like example, my UG friends are now currently associated with many MNCs companies, and many of them weren't satisfied with the appraisal thing. And I asked a question that I identified that there is no any standard criteria in appraisal to justify whether he is capable to get this or not. Why we can't standardize those things?
See, everything is set, okay? There is a process for the appraisal does not happen at the end of the year. how much of, attention you give to the information that is passed to you is very critical, right? Like in college, your lecture will give you 40 minutes of information, right? But I think only 5 minutes or 10 minutes of it would have entered your head, isn't it? That is where the problem is. There's throughout the year from Jan, if the calendar year is from Jan to December, throughout the year, there are different processes set where it tells that at this point, you will have to talk to your supervisor, understand what is that they expect from you, right? And then you have a mid-year feedback where you understand whether you are up to the mark. What more do you want your, what more does your manager expect from you? All that you will have to have timely discussion. Sometimes, your manager may be proactive enough to, set it themselves and come and give you the feedback. If that is not happening because it is your career and your rating, you will have to take the initiative to go and ensure that you set the expectation right and have everything documented, right? If you have set that expectation, if you have had a mid-year feedback, you have understood from your supervisor what is expected, and if you have done it, there is no reason why your performance rating will go down, right? Many times what we do, let me do whatever work is given to me, right? That's a human tendency. Some work is given, I come at 9 or 10, I finish my job at 7 or 8, okay, and I leave. You never even tend to, go talk to your supervisor, am I expected to do something more? Should I do something more? See, only when you become proactive, you will become an achiever. Otherwise, it's just met expectations, right? Meeting expectation is no more considered as a benchmark. You have to exceed whatever is given to you. If you do what is expected, you get a minimal rating, a normal salary. Only when you do more than what is expected, right, you stand apart. Any other questions? Yes. Okay.
Ma'am, my question is, as a recruiter, what is the most important essential skill which you require from our candidates?
See, very critical one which I would say is communication skills, okay? Very important one. See, you are given just 20 minutes to impress. Maybe you will have a written test, all that before that, leave that apart. Within 20 minutes, you will have to impress the interviewer. Impress in the sense not with your, using words which are very, totally not understandable, for finding the tough words in the dictionary. It's not like that, okay? Simple question. When I say talk about yourself, okay? What is that you tell about yourself? Is what we understand that how you value yourself. If you're going to just tell that, I am from this school, I am from this college, I was born here, brought up here. See, that is not what will help us decide, whether you have to be a part of the organization, right? You will have to tell certain things which will actually make us feel that you will be an asset to our organization, correct? I have done this, I maybe as simple as, coordinating this event. I have done end-to-end management of an event in my college, okay, where I have taken these responsibilities. So many people. So we will ask more questions on how you have been able. When you have that hands-on experience in your college itself, right, we feel that, okay, even when you come to our organization, given a responsibility, you'll be able to run it, right? So the first thing is communication. Second thing is, as I said, as a HR, even if you're the junior most HR, you might have to talk to, somebody at a VP or an executive level, till a person at the bottommost level like a fresher, right? The way you handle people, right, that is very critical. You can't talk the same way to a fresher. Not that because of that hierarchy you're going to change the way, but still, the way you talk to a CEO is different from the way you handle a manager to a way you handle a fresher, right? That nuances you will have to understand, okay? It is not that you will have to be fully equipped with all the skills, but you should have an open mind, flexible to learning, and have a very, professional attitude. In a HR, as a HR role, what is very important and differentiating is that human aspect, right? You need to have that empathy. You will have to have that knowledge and how to handle people. That skill, if you have, I think you can crack the interview very well.
Thank you.
Okay. And nowadays we are focusing more on diversity, equity, inclusion, women empowerment. So that way, right, because in Cognizant, even I am part of the women empowerment group. So I would also like to see that we have a higher ratio of, increasing ratio of women joining and sustaining. Actually, if you see, there are many people, if you see it's 50% in Coimbatore, especially in Cognizant Coimbatore, because I'm from here, I can tell the stats. When people join, it's like 50% guys and 50% girls. But as you go up the ladder, right, when you go to SM, AD or exec level, right, the percentage comes down to, 10, 20%. The reason is because, for various reasons, life events, women compromise on their jobs. I think that is something, right, as in HR, we should also play a role and, give them that right counseling and right, direction so that they don't quit the job, rather, go up the career managing all the life events, right? There also as a HR we have a role, right? I think you will hear this all this in detail in your upcoming sessions. So I will leave those topics for the leaders to do. Okay? Yeah?
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, as a HR, it is important to notice behavioral changes of employees, ma'am.
Yes.
How does AA assess in that? How do AA assess the behavior changes of an employee?
Very much. Very good question, actually. If you see, we were telling the benefits of hope. I'm not taking too much of the time, right? Another 5 minutes, I will close it. Okay, see, that's a very good question because attrition is the biggest problem we see, right? Why people who are the people who will quit the company? AI can help. If you see, there is a company, in every company they run annual surveys or, every 6 months they run an employee satisfaction survey. Okay? With the help of AI, a company has found out that people who don't fill the surveys, I mean, if there is a biannual survey, right? People who don't fill the surveys have higher probability of quitting the company rather than, when compared to the people who don't fill the survey or who fill the surveys, right? So such kind of inference and insights, right? Okay, or if the absenteeism is too high, okay, there are chances that this person will quit. Okay, all such indicators, I think it is very difficult for us to manually, get these insights because the volume of data is too huge. Okay, especially for a big company where there are lakhs of employees, it's difficult for you to find, who is the person who is taking ample leaves, who are not filling the surveys, who have the general tendency, or somebody would have waited, everything is good, okay, all the way. Suddenly in this annual survey, they would have rated everything low. Okay, so there is a problem. So AI will give us hints on these are the problem areas. So if you connect with them, maybe you will get some, hint. So that way, all this data, inferences, insights will help us get some predictive analysis and take some mitigation steps so that, we can avoid that attrition or any issues for that matter.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much for your time and making this a very interactive session. Wish you all success.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insights and how important to update ourselves with technology like artificial intelligence and also to manage workforce for being a good HR personnel in an organization. Thank you.
Fragrance of flowers spread only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all the directions. Let me invite our ardent head of the department, Dr. N. Nirmala Devi, School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, to deliver the felicitation address.
Good morning all. At this juncture, I take it my great privilege on behalf of the School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, to thank the Chief Patrons, Srimati S. Malari Madam, our Chairperson and Managing Trustee, Sri Krishna Institutions, and Mr. K. Aditya, Trustee, Sri Krishna Institutions, for constantly motivating us and supporting us to organize mega events like this. And I also thank Dr. R. Ramesh Kumar, Dean Administration, Dr. R. Jagjeevan, Principal Sri Krishna Arts and Science College, and Ms. Dr. P. Manju, Dean Academics, for their guidance and support throughout. My duty is to do the felicitation, and on behalf of the School of Management, the entire team was around the last 15 days, 2 weeks, hunting for the people and finding out good resource persons to make this event a grand success. In that platform, we have identified 7 resource persons who are in the field of HR, who are doing wonders, starting from Mr. Wonder Joki. And thank you for, sir, for giving your consent, because long years we got associated, and many years I missed him without meeting each other. And sir asked me today, I thought you have missed me. I said, how can we miss you? Industry and in academia have to get connected always. And we academicians finding out opportunities to meet up the links. And he is a HR professional, that too always long years standing with recruitment agencies. And you are the right person linking the academia and the industry, sir. And on behalf of the team, I thank for your presence. And Srija ma'am for accepting ad hoc and making your viable experience sharing of this. My opinion, like building bridges, connecting, creating opportunities. That is the tagline we have created here. Building bridge, creating opportunity is one end. And the pandemic has created a much more transformation. And the two words, transformation and sustainability, becomes invariably used all these years, and this becomes the constant without change. And one end, industries are going with industry 4.0, 5.0 and so on. Automation and AI and machine learning is the transformation is taking place in the industries. And the challenge for the HR professionals now is, we all study, starting with heart-on experiment, experimenting and also the evaluating the performance of an individual based on the productivity and performance, and now the days are all gone. Now we are in the amalgamation and collaboration of merging out the technoware and humanware. And that is the most important challenge you youngsters, being the budding HR professionals. Like the market is something which is just shaken off and just taking a new dimension into the field of the entire world. Global industries are taking new dimension, and all the technical terms in HR, traditional terms, has taken new shape today. There are, as Sir was rightly talking about personnel management towards HRM, and now many of HRM terminologies has taken a new shape, and everything is connected with technical. And that is what is more important, and Srija ma'am was connecting about assertive behavior. Finally, what stays in is the behavior of an employee, and as how to evaluate our students' question, how AI can predict the people behavior. Maybe a right boss can predict good behavior of the employee, and retention and attrition is based on the good leader and how he or she is taking right strategies to retain the employee. Whereas now it is all machine made, it's all machine predictions, and we have to closely monitor. And it is time boundedness is missing here. Everything can be done as such. And what is more important is it is not the waiting time in the queue, it is doing it on that particular day. Otherwise your competitor will beat you up. That is the challenge in between in front of the industries also. So retention and the talent acquisition plays a vital role in all the human resource development and management perspectives, and this becomes the one most important strategic point every industry have to think of. How we have to restructure, revamp, rethink and rejuvenate the strategic structures in HR platform so that the company can sustain for a long time and we can retain talented people for our industry. And in that way only we have pointed out, created 4 signs of concepts: revamp, rethink, replenish and rejuvenate is the 4 important components every HR professional or every organization have to think and reshape their aspects, structuring aspects at this scenario. So this conclave will definitely give such inputs, and all resource persons will throw lights on their experiences in this arena, which will definitely help all the youngsters or budding professionals, not only human resource professionals, also management professionals over here, you will understand just completing MBA with a degree will not hold you to serve you for an industry for a long time. What is more important? Technically, you have to equip yourself. That is more important. and that is how everyone, even the industry, institutions are rethinking about reshaping about the curriculum structure for the need for the industry, and we rejuvenate in all the aspects. Even you organize these events and other aspects. So the amalgamation which is happening will definitely fill in the gap, or narrow down the gap between the industry expectations and the competencies of the young professionals, so that company will procure right people at right time, and we will definitely be the right individual to shaping up not only the industry but for the whole economy of India and also the global economic aspects. So maybe I can complete this as a time, it's running short of time. So thank you all for providing me an opportunity, and our guest Mr. Rakesh Menon is also arrived. So at this juncture, on behalf of the School of Management, once again I thank you all the participants from various colleges, young HR professionals who have shown interest to take part in this HR conclave. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. If you work hard and meet your responsibilities, you can get higher, no matter where you come from, what you look like, or who you love. I now request Dr. A. Karthikeyan, Faculty of School of Management, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, all. I'm really happy to be standing in front of you to say thanks to the entire fraternity over here. And the day was really well started, and when we learn so many things, and when we are happy in learning, and I think this is a great day. I thank our keynote speaker, keynote address by the Shrija ma'am, and inaugural address by Mr. Wonders Jackie sir. Thank you so much for enlightening us with your simple and humble words, so that I believe these words will make our HR professionals to really shape them in the future. And I thank our principal, Dr. Jaidevan sir, for giving an enormous input. Hope we all have to get ready with all those things. And I thank our head of the department, Nirmala ma'am, for enlightening us with another set of inputs. And I'm really happy to see the entire team of SKCT in supporting us for this event. Thank you, the head of departments from the various departments of our institution. And finally, I really want to thank the entire participants who are coming around, all around from the Coimbatore region to take part in this event. And my sincere thanks to the entire team who coordinated well and organized well for the past 2 days. We are running out of we'll have to post to get into this the day to remember. Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we break for the tea and will resume back at 11:15. We have photo session, please be there.
I request the participants to kindly come in front so that we can have a photo session. I request few participants from various colleges can come forward so that we can have a photo session.
Sir,
Participants are requested to break for your tea and resume back after 15 minutes, that is 11:50.
Sir, visitors note. Hey, no, visitors note. சீக்கிரம்டா வரும். வருண் மேம் 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 விசிட்டர்ஸ் நோட் மட்டும் விசிட்டர்ஸ் நோட்
அவ்வளோ சார்ஜ் போட்டு போடு சார்ஜா லேப் ஆனவங்களா கவுன்சிலே இருக்கா
Faculty, School of Management, Sri Krishna College of Technology, to formally welcome and introduce our chief guest of the session.
Hello.
ஸ்டேஜ் மேலே தான் இருக்கேன் இதோ பார்த்துட்டு